Today we uncover the shocking truth about the soap sold in UK supermarkets. One brand on supermarket shelves right now contains a fragrance compound banned across every EU country since 2021. The UK hasn't followed. Another product, marketed specifically to families with children, contains a preservative that breaks down into a harmful compound classified by international health agencies in their highest concern category. The label doesn't say that. A third brand built its entire identity around sensitive skin, then put inside a preservative that European safety boards concluded isn't safe for skin at any concentration. And the best-selling bar in Britain, it's never once been allowed to legally call itself soap. That's not an oversight. It's a legal position. Most of what's sold as soap in British supermarkets isn't legally soap at all. It's synthetic detergent bars formulated from petrochemical derivatives, preserved with compounds that release harmful substances, and labeled with words like gentle, natural, and kind to skin that have no regulatory definition and no mandatory testing behind them. For anyone managing chronic skin conditions, families lathering up children at bath time, or people on daily medications where skin absorption matters, these chemicals are going straight through your skin while you trust the label. So we've gone through the major brands currently sold in UK supermarkets, and we'll expose the 11 soap products you need to avoid. Then I'll tell you the handful which are actually still worth buying. But before we get into it, I need you to do something. If this information is valuable to you, if you think people deserve to know what they're actually putting on their skin every single day, click the hype button right now. That one action does more than you think. It tells the algorithm this matters, it pushes this video to more people, and every single person who sees this is one more person who can make an informed choice at the supermarket. The big brands spend millions on marketing to keep you buying their products. We don't have that budget. What we have is you. And when you hype this video, when you share it, when you leave a comment telling us what you think, you're pushing back. You're telling these companies that hiding harmful ingredients behind vague labels isn't acceptable anymore. You're part of the movement demanding better standards, real transparency, and products that don't compromise your health for profit. So click that hype button, be part of this, and let's get into it. Number 11. Imperial Leather Original Bar. Imperial Leather has been in British bathrooms since 1938. The fragrance that defines it contains compounds the European Union banned from cosmetics in 2021. The UK hasn't followed. You grew up with this soap. Your parents used it. That unmistakable red and gold packaging, that scent you'd recognize instantly. But the EU banned hydroxyisohexyl 3-cyclohexene carboxaldehyde, known as HIC or Lilial, from all cosmetic products under EC Regulation 2021/1099, citing conclusive evidence it causes contact allergy sensitization that becomes permanent once triggered. The Scientific Committee on Consumer Safety classified it as an extreme sensitizer, with no safe use concentration. The ban applied across all EU member states from August 2021. The UK left the EU before the ban was finalised, and as of 2026, the UK cosmetics regulation hasn't been updated to include this restriction. The consumer in a British supermarket in 2026 is buying a product that couldn't legally be sold in France, Germany, or any EU member state in its current form. Fragrance allergen sensitization affects between 1% and 4% of the general population, with patch test clinics reporting Imperial Leather as among the most commonly identified trigger products. Once sensitization occurs, every subsequent exposure triggers an immune response. There's no desensitization pathway. This is about a permanent allergic reaction that follows you for life. And the Imperial Leather you remember from childhood, that formula's gone. The company sold to Cousins in 2002, production moved to Thailand and Turkey, and the original tallow-based formula was replaced with cheaper synthetic alternatives. What you're buying now isn't the soap your grandmother used. It's a reformulated product using your nostalgia to sell you a formula that wouldn't pass current European safety standards. Number 10. Pears Transparent Soap. Pears has been sold as the world's oldest soap brand since 1800. The manufacturing moved from London to India decades ago. The ingredients inside have nothing to do with the purity the brand spent 200 years marketing. For over 2 centuries, Pears built its reputation on being gentle, transparent, and pure. The transparency of the bar became the visual proof of its quality. But flip the bar over now, and you'll find sodium lauryl sulfate, BHT, and a formulation that bears almost no resemblance to the glycerin-based soap that made the brand famous. Sodium lauryl sulfate is an industrial-strength surfactant used in engine degreasers. Whether it's derived from petroleum or coconut oil, the derivation doesn't change what it does to your skin. A study in the British Journal of Dermatology in 2022 measured skin barrier disruption in subjects using SLS-containing wash products at concentrations above 1%. SLS at these concentrations produced measurable damage with repeated daily use. The stratum corneum is your first line of defense against environmental pathogens and allergens. Compromising it gradually reduces your skin's capacity to protect what's underneath. BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene, is a preservative banned as a food additive in several countries due to concerns about endocrine disruption. Europe allows it in cosmetics under strict limits. Pears uses it. The brand that spent 200 years telling you it was the gentle choice now contains a preservative too controversial for food but perfectly legal for your skin. And Pears was produced in London until Unilever moved production to India in the 1990s. The UK heritage you're paying for, it's manufactured abroad with a formula designed for cost efficiency. You're not buying the soap your great-grandmother trusted. You're buying a synthetic formulation using a 200-year-old reputation to sell you something completely different. Number 9. Dove Original Beauty Bar. Dove has never called this product soap. That's not an oversight. It's a legal position. The FDA defines soap as a product where the cleaning action comes from the alkali salts of fatty acids produced through saponification. Dove doesn't meet that definition. It's classified as a synthetic detergent bar, meaning the cleaning action comes from synthetic surfactants rather than saponified oils. Because it isn't legally soap, it's regulated as a cosmetic and must meet cosmetic labeling rules. The marketing team called it a beauty bar. The regulatory team had already determined it couldn't be called soap. The primary surfactant is sodium cocoyl isethionate, derived through a manufacturing process that creates 1,4-dioxane as a byproduct, linked in studies to harmful health effects. The DTSC in California formally included 1,4-dioxane in its Safer Consumer Products rulemaking in 2023. The EU Scientific Committee on Consumer Safety flagged ethoxylated surfactants as requiring ongoing contamination monitoring. Dove's Real Beauty campaign is one of the most studied examples in marketing history of emotional trust displacement. The campaign made women feel seen. It built deep brand loyalty, and it sold a synthetic detergent bar as though the emotional honesty extended to the formula inside. It didn't. The campaign featured real women, real skin, real stories about feeling beautiful. Meanwhile, the bar they were selling contained synthetic surfactants, potential manufacturing contaminants, and a formulation that had nothing to do with the authenticity the marketing promised. You thought this was the safe choice. You used it on your babies thinking it was pure. The label said beauty, the chemistry said something very different. Number 8. Palmolive Bar Soap. Palmolive. The name itself suggests olive oil, natural ingredients, Mediterranean purity. The olive oil is buried at the bottom of the ingredient list. Sodium palmate comes first. The naturalness you're paying for is marketing, not formulation. Palmolive built its brand identity around olive oil. The name is literally palm and olive. The packaging features olive branches and messaging about natural ingredients. But read the actual ingredient list and you'll see sodium palmate, sodium palm kernelate, fragrance, glycerin, and then somewhere near the end, sodium olivate. That's the olive oil. It's there, technically, but it's not the primary ingredient. Sodium palmate is the soap derived from palm oil. That's what you're washing with. The olive oil is present in amounts small enough to print on the label, but not substantial enough to define the product. This is formulation theatre. It's the cosmetic equivalent of a ready meal with fresh vegetables on the box and a tiny percentage actually inside. Palmolive often markets itself with claims like 98% natural origin. Natural origin doesn't mean natural. It means the ingredients started as something found in nature before they were chemically processed into something completely different. Sodium palmate is technically natural origin because it comes from palm oil, but it's been saponified, bleached, and processed. The marketing says natural, the chemistry says industrial. The brand also uses talc in some formulations, a mineral under scrutiny for contamination concerns, particularly regarding asbestos traces in cosmetic-grade talc. Palmolive doesn't advertise this. They advertise the olive oil that's barely there. Number 7. Dettol Original Soap. Dettol built its reputation on hospital-grade protection. The compounds inside are so harsh they've been banned for pest control in some countries, yet they're marketed for daily home use. Dettol means disinfection. It means clinical strength. The brand has been associated with hospitals and medical settings since 1932. That association creates trust. If it's good enough for hospitals, it must be safe for your bathroom. But hospital grade doesn't mean safe for daily use. The original Dettol soap formulation contained chloroxylenol, an antimicrobial agent that works by disrupting bacterial cell membranes. It's effective, it's also harsh. Current formulations use preservatives like methylisophiazolinone and methylchloroisophiazolinone, creating a product designed to eliminate microbes indiscriminately. That includes the beneficial bacteria your skin needs. The Scientific Committee on Consumer Safety issued a first opinion on MI in 2013, concluding it was unsafe in leave-on products at any concentration. A second opinion in 2016 reviewed rinse-off products and set a maximum safe concentration, noting anything above this created an unacceptable sensitization risk. The British Association of Dermatologists published a position statement describing MI-related contact allergy as an epidemic. Contact allergy triggered by MI is permanent. Once your immune system has been sensitized, every subsequent exposure triggers an inflammatory response. The allergy doesn't resolve. And these preservatives were so problematic for agricultural pest control that Australia restricted their use in rodenticides due to toxicity concerns. Yet they're perfectly legal in a soap you use every morning. Number 6. Wright's Traditional Coal Tar Soap. Wright's Coal Tar Soap has been around since 1860. The name suggests authentic coal tar, the medicinal compound used for skin conditions for over a century. The current formulation uses coal tar fragrance, not actual coal tar. You're paying for a scent, not the therapeutic ingredient. Coal tar soap has a legitimate history in dermatology. Real coal tar has been used to treat psoriasis, eczema, and seborrheic dermatitis since the 1800s. Wright's traded on that reputation for decades. The black bar, the distinctive smell, the medicinal packaging all reinforce the idea that this was the real thing. But production moved from the UK to Turkey, the formulation changed, and what you're buying now is a standard soap base with coal tar fragrance added to replicate the smell. The therapeutic compound isn't there. The ingredient list includes sodium palmate, sodium cocoate, fragrance, and cocamide DEA. Cocamide DEA is a foaming agent derived from coconut oil and diethanolamine. There are concerns about nitrosamine contamination during manufacturing when diethanolamine reacts with nitrosating agents. The issue isn't that cocamide DEA is definitively harmful. The issue is that it's a compound with unresolved contamination questions in a product that markets itself as traditional and medicinal when the actual medicinal ingredient has been removed. You're not getting coal tar, you're getting coal tar scent. The brand built trust on therapeutic efficacy and now sells you nostalgia in a bar that doesn't deliver what the name promises. Number 5. Radox Feel Restored Shower Gel. Radox markets itself as aromatherapy, as wellness, as restoring your body and mind after a long day. The aromatherapy is completely synthetic. The wellness claims have no clinical backing, and the primary surfactant creates a manufacturing byproduct that European agencies have flagged for ongoing contamination monitoring. Radox has been a British bathroom staple since 1908. The brand positioning is about mood enhancement and stress relief. The product names Feel Restored, Muscle Soothe, Unwind all suggest therapeutic benefits. But parfum, that one word on the ingredient list, is a legal container for an undisclosed mixture of fragrance chemicals. UK Cosmetics Regulation 2024 requires manufacturers to individually list 26 fragrance allergens when they appear above 0.001% in rinse-off products. Radox's current labeling discloses perfume without individually naming components beyond the minimum required list, meaning fragrance compounds below the disclosure threshold remain undisclosed. You're buying aromatherapy without knowing what the aroma actually is. Radox also contains sodium lauryl sulfate. SELES is produced through ethoxylation, where ethylene oxide is used to make the surfactant milder than its unethoxylated counterpart. Ethoxylation creates 1,4-dioxane as a manufacturing contaminant. It doesn't appear on any ingredient label because it's a contaminant, not an intentional ingredient, and current regulations don't require its disclosure. The Cosmetic Toiletry and Perfumery Association's guidance on allergen disclosure identified shower gels as a category requiring improved labeling practice. You're not getting restored. You're getting synthetic fragrance and a surfactant with contamination questions hidden behind marketing that makes you feel like you're treating yourself to something therapeutic. Number 4. Sanex regular variants with fragrance. Sanex built its identity around sensitive skin. The tagline was "kind to skin." The ingredient list contains harsh SLS, sodium C1416 olefin sulfonate, and fragrances that contradict everything the brand claims. And Sanex also makes a 0% variant. That product exists. It proves they know how to formulate without the harsh ingredients. They just choose not to in the regular range because it's cheaper. Sanex became a major brand in the UK by positioning itself as the soap for people whose skin couldn't handle regular soap. The clinical white packaging, the dermatologically tested claims, the whole identity was built around being gentle. But the regular Sanex variants contain sodium lauryl sulfate and sodium C1416 olefin sulfonate, both surfactants known for stripping oils and disrupting the skin barrier. If you're using Sanex because your skin is sensitive, you're using a product that contains the exact compounds that make skin reactive, and the fragrance is the same undisclosed perfume you see in every other product. The brand that markets itself to people with allergies is putting in synthetic fragrance blends that are the #1 cause of cosmetic contact dermatitis. But Sanex 0% exists. It's a fragrance-free, harsh surfactant-free version. That formulation proves Sanex knows how to make a gentle product. They have the capability. The regular range isn't formulated the way it is because gentle products are impossible. It's formulated that way because harsh surfactants and synthetic fragrances are cheaper, and the regular range sells on brand recognition built decades ago. You're paying for the kind to skin promise while getting a product they've already proven they can make better but choose not to. Number 3. Carex Original Antibacterial Liquid Soap. Carex Antibacterial. The claim is right there on the label. Protection from germs. Safety for your family. The FDA banned the original antibacterial ingredient in 2017. Carex replaced it with benzalkonium chloride and kept the antibacterial claim. The replacement has its own unresolved questions, and health agencies have determined that antibacterial soaps aren't required to be more effective than plain soap and water for preventing illness. You're absorbing extra chemicals for zero additional protection. The FDA banned triclosan from antibacterial soaps in 2017, along with 17 other antimicrobial ingredients, citing insufficient evidence of safety and effectiveness. The ruling established that antibacterial soaps weren't more effective than plain soap and water, while carrying ingredient-specific concerns that plain soap didn't. Brands reformulated, most switched to benzalkonium chloride. In 2024, the FDA completed a safety review of benzalkonium chloride and determined the available data was still insufficient to classify it as generally recognized as safe and effective for consumer antiseptic use. Independent research has identified BAC as a potential aquatic toxin with environmental persistence concerns. The MHRA in the UK hasn't issued equivalent guidance, meaning the antibacterial claim continues to stand on UK shelves without the scrutiny it's received in the United States. Carex antibacterial is no more effective at preventing illness than plain soap. You're not getting extra protection. You're getting a product that uses the word antibacterial to justify consumer trust while delivering the same cleaning action as any basic soap. Your skin has a microbiome. It's supposed to have bacteria on it. Those bacteria protect you. Using antibacterial soap daily disrupts that balance, and there's no evidence it makes you healthier. Number 2. Original Source Mint and Tea Tree Shower Gel. Original Source positions itself as natural, plant-based, an alternative to the chemical-laden products dominating supermarket shelves. The packaging is green. The branding emphasizes botanicals. The name itself, Original Source, suggests purity and authenticity. The primary surfactant is sodium lauryl sulfate. The plant origin of SLS doesn't change its effect on skin, and the brand's natural claim has no regulatory backing. Original Source uses this derivation as the basis for its plant-based claim. The MHRA's 2025 guidance on cosmetic marketing states that natural and plant-based on cosmetics labels must not imply a safety advantage unless the claim is substantiated by specific evidence that the product is safer or less harmful than alternatives. Original Source doesn't publish substantiation for this claim. The chemistry of SLS is the same regardless of its source. Whether it's derived from coconut oil or synthesized from petroleum, the molecule behaves identically. It's a surfactant that disrupts lipid membranes. On your skin, that means it strips the natural oils that keep your skin barrier intact. A study published in the British Journal of Dermatology in 2022 measured transepidermal water loss and stratum corneum integrity in subjects using SLS-containing wash products at concentrations above 1%. SLS at these concentrations produced measurable disruption to the skin barrier with repeated daily use. The stratum corneum is your outermost layer of defense. Compromising it doesn't cause immediate harm. It gradually reduces your skin's capacity to protect what's underneath. Original Source markets itself to younger consumers through vivid packaging, strong scent profiles, and affordable pricing. The mint formulation contains peppermint oil at a concentration high enough to cause skin irritation in people with sensitized skin, a concern acknowledged in the product's own contraindications but not foregrounded in the marketing. You're not buying a natural alternative, you're buying the same harsh surfactant chemistry wrapped in green packaging with a higher concentration of essential oils that can themselves be irritating. The word natural is doing all the work here, and it's work that isn't backed by the formulation. If you switch to Original Source thinking you were avoiding the synthetic chemicals in mainstream brands, you've been misled. The source of the chemical doesn't determine its safety. The chemistry does, and Original Source's chemistry is standard industrial surfactant formulation with a plant-based marketing angle. Number 1. Lynx Body Wash. Lynx is marketed to teenage boys and young men with one message: use this and you'll be attractive. The entire brand identity is built on insecurity, on the idea that without the right scent, you're not desirable. And what they're selling to exploit that insecurity is a product with maximum synthetic fragrance, undisclosed phthalates hidden in the perfume label, and a formulation designed for scent intensity, not skin safety. Lynx, known as Axe in the United States, has been running the same advertising playbook for decades. Young men use the product, and suddenly they're irresistible. Women are drawn to them, confidence skyrockets. It's adolescent fantasy packaged as hygiene. And it works because it targets the exact demographic most vulnerable to that messaging. But here's what the ads don't show. Lynx body washes contain some of the highest concentrations of synthetic fragrance of any product on the supermarket shelf. That fragrance is listed as perfume. One word. Behind that word could be dozens, even hundreds of individual chemical compounds. Phthalates are often used in fragrance formulations to make scents last longer. They're endocrine disruptors, meaning they interfere with hormone function. European regulations require disclosure of certain phthalates above specific concentrations, but many remain undisclosed because they fall below the threshold or aren't on the mandatory list. You don't know if they're in there. Lynx doesn't have to tell you. The brand also uses intense dyes, synthetic surfactants, and formulations optimized for scent projection, not gentleness. If you're using Lynx daily, you're coating your skin in a chemical blend designed to smell strong and last long. And the impact on your skin barrier, your microbiome, and your long-term skin health is entirely secondary to the marketing goal. Here's the broader issue. Lynx is marketed to boys and young men at exactly the age when they're most self-conscious, most concerned about how they're perceived, and least equipped to critically evaluate whether a product is actually good for them. It's exploitation. It's taking normal adolescent anxiety about attractiveness and turning it into a revenue stream. And what they're getting in return is a product that prioritizes scent over safety, marketing over formulation, and short-term appeal over long-term health. If you're buying Lynx for your son, your grandson, or using it yourself, you're buying into a brand that sees insecurity as an opportunity and skin health as an afterthought. So how do you find the good stuff? The products that are actually what they claim to be. Real soap is made by saponification. Fats or oils reacted with an alkali, sodium hydroxide for bars, potassium hydroxide for liquids. The reaction produces soap molecules and glycerol. No synthetic surfactants, no ethoxylation, no harmful preservative releases. The handful of brands below are real soap in the legal and chemical sense. That's where the difference starts. And here's the good news. The first option costs less than almost every brand we just exposed. First, Simple Pure Soap Bar. Simple Pure is one of the few mass-market brands in the UK where the ingredient list actually says what the front of the pack claims. The bar is made by true saponification. Sodium cocoate and sodium tallowate, the alkali salts of coconut and tallow oil produced by reacting those oils with sodium hydroxide. These are soap molecules in the legal and chemical sense. There's no ethoxylated surfactant, no SLES, no synthetic preservatives, and no perfume on the label. Simple doesn't add fragrance. It doesn't add color, it doesn't add unnecessary compounds to make the bar look or smell like something it isn't. The ingredient list is short, named, and verifiable against the UK Cosmetics Ingredient Database. Simple Pure Soap Bar is available at Boots, Tesco, and most major supermarkets. It's a mainstream product at a mainstream price. If you're nervous about switching from Dove or Imperial Leather to something unfamiliar, Simple is the easiest first step. It's not artisan, it's not organic. It's not marketed as premium, it's just honest soap that does what soap is supposed to do, without the synthetic chemistry, the undisclosed fragrances, or the harmful preservative releases. For anyone with sensitive skin, eczema, or anyone who's noticed their skin getting more reactive with age, Simple Pure is a product that won't make things worse. And that's more than you can say for most of what's on the shelf. Second, Faith in Nature Fragrance-Free Soap Bar. Faith in Nature is a UK brand that's been around since the 1970s, and it's one of the few that's managed to scale without compromising on formulation. The fragrance-free bar is made by true saponification. Sodium cocoate, sodium palmate, and sodium olivate, the alkali salts of coconut, palm, and olive oil produced by reacting those oils with sodium hydroxide. These are soap molecules in the legal and chemical sense. There's no ethoxylated surfactant, no SLES, no synthetic preservatives, and no perfume on the label. UK Cosmetics Regulation 2024 requires individual allergen disclosure above threshold concentrations, and Faith in Nature's labeling meets this requirement by name, not by the catch-all perfume classification. The product holds Vegan Society certification and Leaping Bunny cruelty-free certification, both of which require independent audit of the supply chain, not self-declaration. Neither certification is a safety certification, but both require documented supply chain transparency. Every ingredient is short, named, and verifiable. Faith in Nature isn't expensive, it's not positioned as premium. It's just a British brand that makes soap the way soap is supposed to be made, and it's been doing it for 50 years without cutting corners. If you want fragrance-free, this is it. If you've been using Sanex thinking you needed a sensitive skin product, this is what Sanex should have been. Third, Faith in Nature Coconut Soap Bar. Faith in Nature also makes a coconut variant, and it's worth mentioning separately because it addresses a specific need. some people don't want fragrance-free. They want their soap to smell like something. The issue isn't scent itself, the issue is synthetic fragrance hidden behind the word parfum. Faith in Nature's coconut bar uses coconut oil and naturally derived coconut fragrance. It's not perfume, it's not a synthetic blend of undisclosed chemicals. It's coconut. The ingredient list is the same as the fragrance-free version: sodium cocoate, sodium palmate, sodium olivate, with the addition of naturally derived coconut fragrance that's named on the label. You know what you're putting on your skin. If you've been using Radox or Original Source thinking you wanted a natural scent, this is what natural actually looks like. It smells like coconut because it contains coconut, not because it contains a lab-manufactured approximation of coconut designed to last longer and smell stronger than the real thing. Faith in Nature proves you can have scent without synthetic chemistry. You can have a product that smells good and is still transparent about what's in it. And you can buy it at the same places you'd buy Dove or Imperial Leather without paying a premium for the privilege of knowing what you're using. Fourth, Little Soap Company Olive Oil Bar for Sensitive Skin. Little Soap Company is a British brand that makes handmade soap in small batches, and their olive oil bar is formulated specifically for sensitive skin. The ingredient list has 7 components: olive oil, coconut oil, sustainable palm oil, water, sodium hydroxide, and essential oils for scent. That's it. 7 ingredients, no synthetic surfactants, no preservatives, no perfume, no dyes. Olive oil is listed first, meaning it's the primary ingredient by weight. This isn't palm olive's trace amount buried at the bottom. This is a soap where olive oil defines the formulation. Olive oil is high in oleic acid, which is gentle, moisturizing, and non-stripping. Coconut oil provides lather. Sustainable palm oil adds hardness to the bar so it lasts longer. Sodium hydroxide is the alkali that reacts with the oils to create soap. And the essential oils are individually named on the label. Little Soap Company is UK-made, handcrafted, and palm-free options are available if you're concerned about environmental impact. It's not cheap, but it's not extortionate. It's the price you'd expect for a product made in small batches by a company that hasn't outsourced production to cut costs. If you've got eczema, psoriasis, or skin that reacts to everything, this is a product formulated with you in mind. It's gentle because the ingredients are gentle, not because the marketing says so. Fifth, Neal's Yard Remedies Organic Soap Bars. Neal's Yard Remedies is a British brand that started in Covent Garden in 1981, and it's one of the few heritage brands that stayed true to its original mission. Their organic soap bars are made from certified organic oils, cold-pressed to preserve the natural properties of the ingredients, and formulated without synthetic preservatives, fragrances, or surfactants. The bars are certified organic by the Soil Association, which is one of the strictest organic certification bodies in Europe. That certification isn't just about the final product. It covers the entire supply chain, from how the crops are grown, to how the oils are processed, to how the soap is manufactured. It's third-party verified, independently audited, and renewed annually. Neal's Yard offers several variants: lavender and aloe vera, geranium and orange, chamomile and almond oil. Each one uses organic essential oils for scent, organic carrier oils for the soap base, and nothing synthetic. The ingredient lists are transparent, readable, and short. If you're looking for a British brand with genuine heritage that hasn't been bought out, reformulated, and cheapened, this is it. Neal's Yard is more expensive than Faith in Nature or Simple, but you're paying for certified organic ingredients and a brand that's been doing this the right way for over 40 years. If you've been loyal to Imperial Leather or Pears because you valued British heritage, Neal's Yard is the heritage brand that actually deserves that loyalty. Sixth, Dr. Bronner's Pure Castile Soap. Dr. Bronner's isn't a UK brand, it's American, but it's available on Amazon UK, in health food shops, and increasingly in mainstream retailers. And it's worth including because it's the gold standard. Dr. Bronner's holds 5 certifications simultaneously: USDA Organic, Fairtrade, B Corporation, Made Safe, and EWG Verified. No other soap brand on UK shelves has achieved all 5. The formula is genuine Castile soap: organic coconut oil, organic olive oil, organic hemp oil, and organic jojoba oil saponified with potassium hydroxide, with water, citric acid, and tocopherol as the complete remaining ingredient list. The formula contains no synthetic preservatives, no ethoxylated surfactants, no parabens, no harmful preservative releases, no benzalkonium chloride, and no compounds currently under regulatory review by the Scientific Committee on Consumer Safety, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Food and Drug Administration, or the European Chemicals Agency. Made Safe certification in 2025 requires screening every ingredient against databases of known and suspected harmful substances, including endocrine disruptors, compounds of concern, neurotoxins. It's the most comprehensive ingredient safety certification available in the consumer products market. EWG verified status requires independent laboratory testing and confirmation against the Environmental Working Group's Restricted Substances database. B Corporation certification verifies ethical supply chain practices at third-party audit standard. Dr. Bronner's is more expensive than anything else on this list, but it's also the only product where the cleaning claim, the safety claim, and the ingredient label are all saying the same thing. If you can afford it, this is what soap should be. If you can't, Faith in Nature and Simple are excellent alternatives at a fraction of the cost. The point isn't that you have to buy the most expensive option, the point is that you have options. Products that are actually what they claim to be. 11 brands whose labels don't tell you what you need to know. 6 that do. The next time you pick up something in the shower, flip it over. Read the ingredient list. If you see the word parfum without a breakdown of what that means, put it back on the shelf. If the list has more than 10 chemical compounds you can't pronounce, put it back. Look for short ingredient lists. Look for plant-based oils. Look for transparency. Your skin deserves better than compounds of concern disguised as cleanliness. And if this video helped you see what's actually on those labels, click the hype button one more time. Leave a comment telling us which food or product we should investigate next. Because every single person who watches this is one more person who can make an informed choice. And that's how we push back. That's how we demand better. Until next time, read the labels, question the claims, and protect your plate.